episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Now, I know it has been a minute. I've had some technical difficulties over the last couple weeks, and then I was traveling, and then we had holidays, and it's been over a month since I had a chance to come and talk to you guys today. But I'm back. But guess what? This is the last show of the year. I know. Listen, let's just think about it like this. You know, I've been going hard for last 4 years, making sure that we had as many candidates on this show on a weekly basis as I possibly could. And honestly, I kind of needed to chill a little bit in 2025. I needed to kind of recuperate after that devastating loss in 2024, right? But guess what? I'm back. Oh, and not only am I back with Turn Left on Thursdays like I always do, or like I try to do, and bring you the information that you need, I'm bringing you a second podcast. Yes, I am. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of the year in January, we are launching, Black Pearl Studios is launching Next Gen In. It's Next Gen In podcast. I am so excited about this podcast because this podcast is about the young people talking to young people about the politics that matter to them. Listen, I'm 55. I don't have it like that with the 25-year-old. I don't have it like that with the 18-year-olds, right? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be trying to reach out to them and communicate with them the best way we possibly can. And what better way to do that than finding some other politically active young people that can speak to them in a language that they can understand, right? Because we need to raise them up, right? We need to give them the tools that they need so they can stay civically engaged. The other thing is we also need to cultivate the next voices of our democratic movement, right? Because eventually y'all gonna get tired of listening to me. Y'all gonna get so tired of listening to me, my voice, y'all gonna be like, ooh, she's still talking. I've been out here doing this thing since 2017. Y'all might get tired of me, but that's the whole goal. It's like, as older folks, it's our job, right, to empower the next generation. So look for it, y'all. Look for it. Next Gen In. I will make sure that I share the links and get all that information out so that you can follow these young people. You can amplify these young people. And if you have young people who are interested in being contributors to Next Gen In, then they can always reach out to me at dana@indianasown.com, and we will get you guys hooked up. The whole goal is for them to talk to themselves. I'm not front facing. You will not see Indiana's Own. It is all about these young people sharing their vision with other young people using this platform. All right. So share it with your people. Next Gen In, it's coming to a podcast, to a YouTube near you. I am so excited. So excited. But tonight, look, that's all I got. I ain't got no more rants because I am so excited. Remember how I said, y'all might get tired of listening to me? Well, there are other great voices out there that are doing this work, right? That are doing what's necessary to get you guys the information that you need all over the state. And so tonight I got a homie with me. He is the host of the podcast called Hoosier Blue. My guy, Kurt. I lost your name. Hold on. I know what it is. That's crazy. Wait a minute. I did that. Hold on. I got it listed because I don't want to mess this up. Kurt Mullett. Woo. Kurt, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Dana, how are you?
You see why
Thanks for the intro.
Right? Do you see why they might get tired of me? I forget the names before I even get the show started good.
You're cool. You're rusty, so it's understandable. So
how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on. I feel privileged that I'm your last guest of the year. I would have brought a bottle of champagne or something to celebrate with you, but I think our celebration is going to be our discussion of what we're going to talk about. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm excited. So. We met almost a year ago.
Back in March.
At the February, was it the MLK event?
Was it February? February, March?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It was.
No, it was down in India, down at the Methodist Church at the.
Right. It was. Was it Black History or was it MLK?
No, it was the Hoosiers for Democracy thing at the
That's
church
it.
there.
That's it.
Yeah, where we
That's it.
met. So
That's it. That's where we
yeah,
met, and we struck up a good conversation. And
we did.
I knew we
We
would
did.
collaborate. I just didn't know how the year was going to go with everything going on. But here we are, and this hopefully will be the first of many opportunities for us to collaborate and share what the heck's going on in the state house and
hope so
around the
too.
country. So
I figured you just forgot about me after I introduced myself to you and everything. It probably was like, geez, that guy, yeah,
no.
I
Did
figured you
not.
just.
I did. Were you surprised when I finally sent the email?
I was shocked. I was like, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah,
Because I could tell we would be able to, you're the kind of people I could sit and have a cup of coffee with and chat for hours. So I knew that was going
absolutely.
to.
No, I didn't forget. I just wanted to make sure the timing was right. I wanted to make sure that
No, I got you.
we were in a good
Yeah.
space. My head was in a good space. But a lot of people know who I am. Tell the people who you are and where you come from.
Wow. So my name is Kurt Mullett. I go by Hoosier Blue'sKurt on all the socials. I'm from a little town called Wabash, Indiana, which is southwest of Fort Wayne. If you're familiar with where Marion, Indiana is, we're 16 miles or 19 miles, I should say, directly north of Marion. Highway 13 and 15 interchange in Wabash.
Okay.
It's a community of about 10,000 people. We have about 29,000 to 30,000 in the entire county. So we're a very rural area. We're considered a media desert. So that's where I'm from. I was born and raised here. I spent about 10 years away from Wabash, working for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company and living up in Northwest Indiana and in Gary and East Chicago and places like that, which was a great experience for me. So I'm married. I have a daughter that lives in Oklahoma. She's 32 years old. Got 2 dogs. Have a wonderful wife now that love to death. I'm a Democrat. I have not been in politics or involved in politics for a long time. It just wasn't my thing. And then in 2016, when what's his name came down the escalator,
the Orange
I
Menace,
decided,
that's what I call him.
yeah, there's just so many. I just refused to call him by his name. So, but I decided to start doing a little bit of, experimenting with social media and stuff then. And I started a little Facebook thing and did that for a couple of years. And then I got tired of it and stopped. And then I came back onto Instagram and that kind of exploded for me. And now I've expanded to where I've now just started my own podcast a couple of months ago, and I'm still learning the ropes there. It's called Hoosier Blue, Something to Say with Hoosier Blue.
Love it.
I've recorded maybe 20, 22 episodes. I just do a solo thing right now. I haven't been into the interview thing yet, but I hopefully will expand that. So, but I'm still trying to figure all of that out. But I keep busy. I'm retired. I'm a dog dad. I've got 2 dogs. Take care of my wife and my dogs, and just enjoy doing what I do to fight for democracy. I've met a lot of great people, you being one that, I would have never met if I hadn't done this. So it's just been a great experience for me. And it's not something I wanted to do in my golden years. Like I said, I'm 62. I was born in 1963. And a fun fact for you, Dana, I was born on August 28th, 1963.
Oh.
Which I don't want to put you on the spot. But
you ain't got to tell me twice. I know.
Okay.
My favorite president.
Yeah. So I was born on the day that Martin Luther King gave a speech in D.C. So I don't know. It's always been a connection there for me somehow, being in that. But like I said, I never was really a political type guy. I was busy doing other things, but now I am. So and here we are talking. So
I see that you have on a 1619 hat. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. You the first white dude I have ever seen with a 1619 hat on. What's up with that? What's going on?
So I'm probably the only white dude that knows what 1619 is, and I shouldn't say that, but I'll tell you what. I'm a history buff. I'm a huge history buff. And there's a lot of history in my area, but I've always been enthralled with American history, and this is just something that I've always enjoyed. And my good friend Richard Chu from WCPT in Chicago, I saw something he had posted one day, and he had a 1619 hat on, so I dove into it, and I decided I've got a printify shop that I use on some of my social media, so I decided I was going to design my own hat and make my own hat, and that's why I wear it. So, but it's the year, as you know, the first slave ship came to America called the White Lion, and you know why we're here where we are today. But
so
it's important to me.
Absolutely.
You know,
to tell
and
the truth.
I know as an old white guy, you know, that's I know I'm an odd duck. I'm not somebody that normally goes down the path that, you know, old white dudes go down, but that's who I am.
Well,
So,
I love it. I just dropped the link in the chat for your store. You know, anybody that's
cool.
hyping up
Thanks.
what our real American history, go forth, brother. So, you know, I got to tell you, though, retired folks are the best folks to have engaged in politics. Y'all got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
We need
Well, I keep busy. I keep busy around here. I like to cook and I take care of the house and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I have my days to where I can do a lot of this stuff. So, and I understand you need to step away. We all need to take a mental break now and then because this can get to you. It's like a roller coaster. Every single day you wake up and it's like, wow, what, you know, I mean, it's just crazy. The stories that keep rolling in front of us and that we have to talk about, but we have to talk about them, Dana. You know that.
Absolutely.
We have to.
Absolutely.
We got to keep it out there. People got to be informed. You know, what is it? 10% of the population is involved in political news. We need to expand that because it's life and death right now for so many Americans. And it ain't just us libs. It's everybody.
It's everybody. So let's get into that. You know, I have a few topics I want to chitty chat with you about. I take them straight from the headlines. The Indiana Capitol Chronicle reports, as Indiana lawmakers prepare to reconvene in January for a shortened 2026 legislative session, multiple Republican legislators have filed bills to expand how the state carries out death sentences, reopening a debate over capital punishment that stalled in the State House earlier this year. At the heart of two bills, one in the House and the other in the Senate, are additional execution options beyond lethal injection, which is currently the only method authorized by Indiana law. Senate Bill 11, authored by Indianapolis Republican Senator Mike Young, would allow Indiana to use a firing squad to carry out executions under certain circumstances. Under Young's proposal, the death penalty could be inflicted by firing squad if the Department of Corrections determines at least 30 days before a scheduled execution that it is unable to conduct an execution by lethal injection due to the unavailability of required drugs. The bill would also allow a condemned person to request execution by firing squad at least 30 days before the scheduled date. Separately, a House bill authored by Republican Jim Lucas, you know, the drunk guy, of Seymour, and Andrew Ireland of Indianapolis, and I don't know if you guys know who Andrew Ireland is, but he is a clown, of Indianapolis, would allow executions to be carried out by either firing squad or nitrogen hypoxia. Lucas said lethal injection would remain the default method, but condemned individuals could request an alternative. Lucas said the measure was drafted in collaboration with the DOC officials and is driven largely by the state's difficulty securing lethal injection drugs and the costs associated with executions. In the last year, Indiana officials paid up to $300,000 for a single dose of pentobarbital. That is the lethal injection drug. Now, you know, Kurt, I'm struggling with these clowns who've been watching too much TNT movies and gangster movies and think, bruh. First of all, I'm against the death penalty wholly. I am against the death penalty. I know there are a lot of people out there that say, there are, people who deserve to be put to death. But see, my problem with the death penalty is we humans have a tendency to mess up and we get it wrong. And one wrongful execution is one too many for me. I mean, we look at the Innocence Project and we see how DNA are exonerating people. And what if we put somebody to death wrongfully? So that is why I am against the death penalty. But that being said, these cartoonish people want to have a firing squad, Kurt. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, that's just absolutely crazy. And I'm with you. I'm against the death penalty. And there's a lot of reasons that we could dig into and exactly explain our position on it. But the main reason is because, just the injustice that occurs in our judicial system. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you take a white dude that's 40 years old and a black dude that's 40 years old and they commit the same crime and both of them are heinous crimes, I'm going to tell you that 95% of the time, the black dude's going to get executed and the white dude's going to get a slap on the wrist or a 25-year sentence. I mean, that's been proven over time. Okay. But to bring back a firing squad, I mean, I guess this is part of the MAGA world, that again thing, making it again thing, which is what happened back in the, 18th and 19th century. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's absolutely, and for people like Jim Lucas, I mean, I don't know the other guy you talked about, but I know Jim Lucas because I did a couple of reels about him. I mean, he's the guy who went on a drunk rampage and wrecked his vehicle and ran from police and, went against the police. And he's also the dude that pulled out a pistol in the Capitol building or in the Senate state building in front of kids. I mean, and this guy's sitting here making laws for the state of Indiana. I mean, oh my God.
What could go wrong with the fire? I mean, I think of all the things that could go wrong. And then where would you actually do this? Like, is it going to be inside a building, inside of a shooting range? Are you going to do it outside? Like, where are you going to set up gladiator stadiums so people can? I mean, this is just it is so inhumane. And I know that there's some clown that wants to go out like a blaze of glory. But this is just so inhumane. I don't even get why they think a firing squad is a good idea.
Well, and using shortage of drugs. I mean, seriously, really?
That's your reason. That's your reason.
We might have a shortage of Monjaro or something like that, Ozempic or something. But
listen.
A drug that's used for a lethal injection, we're going to have a shortage of? Come on. I mean, we're not stupid. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's look at all the drugs, right? Why are all the drugs super expensive all the time? And think about it. Think about this. You ban or try to attempt to ban, right? Abortion drugs, but you want lethal injection drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking out of both sides of your neck.
Yeah, but they don't see that. I mean, first off, this is a nationwide thing, but we're in Indiana, so it's a little bit, well, we've gone down a little bit darker path than a lot of states have, and people don't realize this across the country. And that's one of the things I try to expose to people that live in New York or California or whatever. I talk about Indiana on occasions because people don't understand. We were one of the leaders in sundown towns at one time. We had one of the most powerful KKK leaders in our state, at one time in the 1920s. Yeah. That was in charge of like 18 states or 28 chapters. I mean, this is who these people are in this state. And that's why, dudes like me are kind of a rare thing. I live in a community where, it's 94.5% white. Okay. And, and this is no joke, Dana. When I was in high school, we had 2 black families in town. Okay. And I'm not making this shit up. Okay. We had one family whose name were Cosby, and the other family was named Jefferson. Okay.
You making it up. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Hey, I mean, this is where I'm from, you know, 75% for Trump. This is where I live. But what people like in Indianapolis and other areas that I try to reach out to now, they don't realize that because, you know, it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
We may be 2 hours away from each other, but we're worlds apart as far as where we live. So,
mercy.
you know, but yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. You know, I don't know. It's just nuts. But you got to look at the people who are making the laws, and that's what we have to change. That's what we have to fight. You know, Jim Lucas, come on. That guy should have been gone a long time ago.
And I don't know if you, you know, I don't follow him, but I go on X because I have to like know what the enemy is talking about so that you can be prepared for when they come for you. And Andrew Ireland always pops up on the For You section, not the people I'm following, the For You section. And he rips Indianapolis apart every chance he gets. He rips apart Congressman Carson. He is yet to offer anything of substance other than he's authored a bill to have the ability to impeach prosecutors, right? That's what he's got. He's got nothing for the people. So he's sitting around and he's more than a MAGA. He's a maggot. He drank the pee. He didn't drink the Kool-Aid. He drank the pee. And he got pee-peed in his mouth. And this clown is like every 15 minutes on X, you know, you got to read what these people are talking about because these are bills that are going to be introduced. And I know people, I don't like X, it's cesspool, whatever, but I'm a black woman in America. I'm used to that. But you got to know what they're talking about. And so the fact that he's on this bill with the firing squad?
Yeah.
Bro.
It's crazy.
The two of them
it's
together?
absolutely crazy.
The two of them together is almost like, there's like, remember in science class, and you weren't supposed to put ammonia and bleach together? That's what they are. They're ammonia and bleach. And now they have come together to write a bill that we have firing squads for executions.
Well, I'm sure that they want to do this because they want to make it a public, spectacle for people. I mean, let's remember Charlie Kirk once made a podcast that talked about this exact thing.
Yeah.
That people should be out there put in the open. I'd watch it. And Coca-Cola should sponsor it. We should get sponsors for it. Yeah. You know, I mean, he went down that path. So
how'd that work out?
But he wasn't racist. So, you know.
How'd that work out for him? That's all I'm going to say. How'd that work out? And it looks like Erica Kirk is moving on. We're not going to spend no more time on them. Erica Kirk and the vice president seem a little chummy, but I'm not even going to speculate.
Right.
I ain't going to speculate. Yeah, this firing squad thing is not a good one.
It's just nuts. It's just nuts. But hey, leave it to Indiana. Leave it to Indiana to lead the way.
If it'll happen, it'll happen here. I mean, hey, before we go on to I forgot to mention, we should talk about redistricting a little bit. Right?
Okay.
You know, I don't have anything to read because it's already happened.
Right.
I'll tell you what, the people spoke up, didn't they?
Oh man, it was crazy. I made it to 2 of the protests down at the state. I wish I could do more, but I'm 2 hours away, and it's
what was the energy like? Tell us about it.
Well, it was crazy. It was, I mean, you know, when you go down to a protest like that at the State House or at the Capitol building or anywhere where there's a large crowd, the enthusiasm and the atmosphere is it grabs you. You know, it's an experience that everybody should try to have during their lifetime.
Absolutely.
Because it's something that is very moving. And to see that many Hoosiers, all walks of life, all ages, genders, races. I mean, you know, it was a blend of people, and the energy was great. And that is why this redistricting didn't happen. It wasn't, I mean, I'm not going to say that I appreciate what the Republicans did.
No.
But let me tell you, their motive was because they seen what was going on with the constituents in this state.
Yeah.
And it's happening around the country. We know with the elections and everything like that. But it was such an asinine thing for them to try to do.
Yeah.
And I think it just proves that there are a lot of people in this country. There are a lot of Republican conservatives who are not MAGA, who are tired of the crap that this administration and these people are trying to pull off. And I don't think Mike Braun and Micah Beckwith have much respect on either side of the aisle in this state because they're both fools.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that it occurred. I mean, it's crazy, and I know we're not going to talk a lot about it, but where Wabash, if you're familiar with 31, it goes right up through the middle of the state, okay?
Yep. Yep.
We're to the east of 31 about 20 miles, okay? We were going to be put in the same district as Lake County, Indiana, as Gary, Indiana, and East Chicago. We were going to be in the same district. That's different time zones. You know, there's more people that live in Gary, Indiana than the whole county of Wabash and Miami put together.
Wow.
I mean, it was crazy. And then what, Ben Carson was going to be the little section of Indian and all the way down to the Ohio River?
Andre Carson. Please don't.
Andre Carson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
We didn't mean that, Congressman.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. And the fact that they were going to divide.
But Andre was going to be all the way down to the Ohio River. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The way they were dividing up Indianapolis had me just totally pissed because, you know, you literally basically said our community's voice as a unit did not freaking matter. And they were they were so surgical that all the college towns they cut up. So they cut up West Lafayette from Lafayette. They cut up Muncie. You know what I'm saying? The only ones they couldn't cut up were South Bend and Bloomington. But like to cut Indianapolis up into 4 congressional districts where you could be downtown Indianapolis and be in 2 separate congressional districts. Man, one, they try to say, I watch the sessions. I can't always get down there because of work. But I watched the sessions and I watched the House session. And when they were being questioned about one, he said it was a political performance, right? That's what he was doing it for. But to say that they did not take into consideration the Voting Rights Act of 1965 to make sure that this map drawing did not violate that statute meant that first of all, he didn't draw it. Like, you authored the bill and we know you didn't even draw it. Some other dude somewhere else in Washington who had never been to Indiana or maybe visited once to convince you that because he knew you was a dumbass to sponsor this bill was dividing our city up and cracking up the Black community so that we would not have now a single Black representative from the state of Indiana. And that's just hogwash. Like, and to tell me that wasn't racist, yeah, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you too.
Yeah. Well, Dana, everything that these people do right now in this administration and on the MAGA world, again, I don't want to include Republicans and conservatives because there's a lot of the Republicans and conservatives that do not feel this way, but everything MAGA is doing is it's centered in white supremacy. Of course. That's what it is. I mean, again, MAGA, Make America Great Again. The again is colonial America. 3/5 women have no rights, all this shit. That's what they want to do. Well, we're not finna let it happen. And here's the other thing. No. When you watch how they move, they're chickens. They are some of the softest people I have ever met in my life. Like, okay, you know, there were some who weren't going to vote for this thing anyway because they recognize, like, okay, if we do this, you know, voter turnout in Marion County hasn't been great. We do this, we could turn up, you know, voter turnout could come up and we could lose seats. I'm going to work on voter turnout in Marion County anyway via IDAC. It's coming. But the other thing is, like, these folks are so soft and they bow down so quickly to an orange dude that eats McDonald's every day. Like, I don't even understand. Like, Kurt, how they get us on the boats, man? How can such soft people who swear they better than everybody else be such punks and scaredy cats? And in one of my IBJ articles, I talked about how
the Orange Menace was able to get lawyers or these big law firms to back down. And it was like, well, if you guys back down, what the hell are we supposed to do? Right? You are supposed to be the experts. But it's the thing is, it's like these people have never had to struggle for anything. And they don't know what real obstacles look like or how to maneuver around them. And so they just lay down like a puppy wanting his belly rubbed.
Well, they're the definition of a bully, and they're the exact example of a bully. I faced a bully in grade school one time that just would pick on me every single day, and I had a discussion with my dad, and the next day it stopped, and it wasn't because I became violent. It's because I stood my ground, and I said, "You ain't gonna do this anymore. You might knock me all around the playground, but you ain't going to do this anymore. But just remember, while you're knocking me around the playground, I'm going to get me a couple in." So, and that was the end of that. Well, and they're the same type of people.
Yeah.
When they want to talk smack to you and talk shit to you on social media or say all these things, but when you're out in public,
they got nothing.
I have an Obama 2028 hat that I made and I wear around here because of the MAGA 2028 hats that they started wearing. So I just made it up. I made me one and I wear it around here, and I do it just to piss MAGA off. And I go to Kroger's and I wear it out in public. And you ought to see the stares I get. Oh. But you know what? Nobody comes up to me. No. Nobody comes up to me and says anything.
No. Well,
what are they going to do?
I think I will say this. I am going to give credit where credit is due. And that is for those 21 Republicans, many of who got doxxed and bullied, and all that intimidation did not crumble. So I got to give credit where credit is due, because they could have crumbled.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But the ones in the house, I'm gonna need y'all so that's why we do these shows, so that you guys can be ready to show up and show out in November, so that we can flip some seats. I like to talk, and I'm a talker, and I like having microphones in my face, but we do this to bring you the information so you can get ready to show up and show out come election time. May 2, but that's primary time, and we're going to be fighting amongst ourselves, which is going to be a lot. But we're going to let that go. So I had to just touch on the redistricting thing for just a minute. But here's something that as they were taking all that time and energy to redistrict our maps, Wish TV reports a Northeast Side child care provider on Wednesday said she lost too many clients to stay open amid the state's child care voucher cuts. Lisa Gross has operated Adventure Academy off of 82nd Street since 2014. At the beginning of the year, she had nearly 200 children enrolled there and had recently opened a new wing. Her enrollment dropped this fall when the Family and Social Services Administration, FSSA, implemented a wait list for Child Care Development Fund, CCDF, vouchers. The agency also reduced the rate at which it reimburses child care providers who accept CCDF vouchers. FSSA officials have said they did this because COVID-era relief funding that had been used to expand CCDF had run out. They have said their only options were to either reduce the size of the program or eliminate it entirely. Officially in October announced they will not authorize any new vouchers until at least 2027. And what Gross said was, with our overhead costs of rent and our food costs are going up, our supply costs are going up, everything's going up, and our biggest expense is our payroll, of course, but everything else was going down. The amount of revenue they were bringing in was going down. And according to the Indiana Association for the Education of Young Children, 197 early child care programs closed statewide between mid-August and the end of November, of which 57 explicitly stated they closed due to CCDF cuts. Now, to be fair, 150 new programs opened during the same period, Executive Director Hannon Osmond said, but it is a net loss of 1,187 seats. Kurt, we already know that child care costs in Indiana are some of the highest in the nation. Now we have a lack of providers. And with the CCDF cuts, those providers may end up having to charge people more for their child care, which means some people, it'll be better for them to stay home. Talk to me about what you see is happening and why our state house officials are not spending as much time and energy and some of that surplus we got to remedy this child care issue that we have.
Well, they don't want to. They simply don't want to. They can solve all of these issues, but they don't want to. They want to get rid of all the freeloaders out there, as they,
like to
call
us.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to call everybody. And I'm not as familiar with what's happening in Indianapolis, but I'm assuming it's just no different than anywhere else in the state. It's just on a larger magnitude because you got a larger area of people and what have you. But, we're facing the same situations in rural America, in Wabash, Indiana. There's fewer jobs available, lower income jobs around here. I mean, our cost of living around here, I think the last time I checked for my wife and I, we need to be somewhere around $27 an hour just for the two of us to be able to afford the cost of living around here where I live. So when they defund programs, whether it be child care or health care or daycare, whatever the situation may be, it has a domino effect. It just doesn't stop there. It continues down the road. Okay, so they close. What do these people do with these children that they need to have daycare for? Which daycare is already extremely expensive.
Yeah.
I know somebody who works 2 jobs and pays $240 a week in daycare.
Wow.
They're not even to make up enough money to barely pay for daycare. So how are people supposed to survive? Well, they don't want us to. They don't want people to survive. I mean, it's a morbid reality that we are facing, but this is the truth. They don't care. They could care less. Suffer.
Well, and apparently,
they want.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, in Project 2025 and Stephen Miller, the population needs to be reduced to 100 million. How'd they do that? Like this.
Yeah. Starve people, cut SNAP benefits. Here's the kicker though. Republicans swear that they have like this amazing economic vision, right? They know how to run the economy. Now, before the election, we told everybody that would listen to us that tariffs were a really, really bad idea because guess what? The cost gets passed down to the consumer, right? Now, farmers, and I've elaborated on this before, farmers were selling their soybeans to China. We slapped the tariffs on China. China stops buying the soybeans. We give Argentina $40 million, $20 million, $40 million. I don't care. It's too much. And then China starts to buy the soybeans from Argentina. Now, Trump is screaming like, I said his name. The Orange Menace is running around acting like he a genius. I'm going to give $1,100 tariff relief to the farmers. Well, wait a minute. If the tariffs were so good that you said was so good, it's going to bring back so many jobs, it's going to be so wonderful for the economy, why you got to bail them out? Why you got to bail them out?
Well, tariff money is our money. We are the ones that pay for the tariffs. So he's taking our money that he collected from us in the tariffs to pay for a problem that he created by taking our money with the tariffs. Okay.
He created it.
The other thing is these payments that they're making to the farmers aren't getting them.
No.
They're not going directly to the farmers. They're going to the people that they owe money to the creditors.
Yeah.
They're going to the big corporations.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made a number of reels about this exact story right here. This money doesn't go to them. It goes through them. So it doesn't help the farmers out. But we've got a problem in our country with this, and we have for a long time. Tariffs, if used properly, can be beneficial. But tariffs are not going to take a country who has a manufacturing of 11% of its own goods. Tariffs are not going to change that overnight.
Right.
You're not, when the tariff thing started talking, MAGA was all over the social media about, well, make it in America. That's what it's going to do. No, you idiot. It's not going to do that overnight.
No.
That takes years. We have to reverse all of these things.
Yeah.
But, that's where we're at. But this is what this guy does. You got to realize this dude has done this his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
He creates problems by some of the decisions he makes. And then he comes through and he goes, oh, well, hey, here, I'll fix that. Look what I did. I mean, this same thing happened in 2017, 2018, and 2019.
Mm-hmm.
He did the exact same thing. And farmers went and voted for him again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why?
So now
Why?
every aspect of our society is suffering, and
Mm-hmm.
Family Values Party can't figure out how to get early childhood education as a part of our public education, which they're trying to gut that. I'm not even going to step into that one right now. I'm just not. I'm going to let it go right now. But here we have people who need to work, and they're, they need to work, but it's not cost effective to go to work and pay for childcare. And they're not really looking to find any way to address this, but they will spend all the time in the world doing whatever the Orange Menace wants because they're bootlickers. Families are struggling. Families are struggling at every level.
Absolutely.
At every level, families are struggling. I feel bad for the businesses, the childcare, the daycare center businesses that they got to pay their staff. But if you cut CCDF, you cut these things. I feel for families because it's harder to exist as a family, right? If you have all these responsibilities.
Well, like I said, it's a domino effect. It's not just the defunding of these agency or these programs. Okay. It's everything else that is involved in this.
Yeah.
It's the escalation of cost of goods, just like you said, insurance premiums. It's everything, all of that when it comes down on somebody. I mean, I'm just scared to death at what's going to happen to some people in this country. The way to incite violence in people is to make them sick and hungry. And eventually what they do is they lose themselves and then they just give up. But it'll start out first in rebellion and violence. And I think that's what they want.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing. Like those of us in the Black and brown community, unfortunately have had to, dispel the myth about who we are as a people. But I've gotten to the point in my life, I really don't give a shit what they think of us when you've never spent any time with us. You know what I'm saying? You looking at you looking at Training Day and think you know who we are. You looking at Colors or Boys in the Hood and think you know who we are. Right.
Yeah. So
I stopped with that. But at the same time, it's these lawmakers that are passing the bills that we have to communicate with. And we have always said we are not prone to more crime. We are disproportionately negatively impacted by the economic situations that we find ourselves in. And nobody ever wants to look at the root cause of crime. And you hit it right on the head. When people are hungry and desperate, they will do what they got to do. I wouldn't. I mean, we are obviously not condoning being criminals, right?
No.
But that's human nature. Human nature tells you gonna do what you got to do to survive. And that's
I mean, that's what they want to happen. They want us to eat ourselves.
Yeah.
They want us to eat each other. They want us to get rid of each other. They want us to kill each other. And unfortunately, so many of these programs affect the Black and brown communities because that's what's in the inner city areas and mainly where the urban areas are made of. But this is going to affect everyone. It's going to affect us white boys here in Wabash, Indiana, too.
Yeah.
And this is where the idiots just don't understand this. These MAGA people that believe that this is all about owning the libs, bullshit. It's not. It's about owning all of us, you dumb idiots. I mean, and I'm trying to keep it clean here. So
I know. And the thing is,
it's crazy.
They want us to fight each other, but they keep forgetting there was a segment in world history where the people didn't turn on each other. They turned on the monarchy. And they was drug out in the streets. And I try to remind people all the time, there's more of us than there are of them. There are more regular working folk I mean, that's why
Absolutely.
they took out Fred Hampton in Chicago, because Fred Hampton had figured out how to bring all the working class folks together regardless of race. And they was like, FBI was like, oh no, we will not have any of that. We will not have poor white people aligning with Latinos and black people. They have done this at every stage of American history of when common folk, working class folk, come together and realize our commonality and begin to work together, they figure out how to divide us up again. Fred Hampton is one of those folks that they did. That man was a young man and he was able to accomplish a lot. So, you know, I think this time, I think we have enough, there's enough people out here that watch enough YouTube videos. I think we might be able to get something different going on. I don't think we're going to take each other out. At least I hope. I'm optimistic.
No, I don't either. I don't either. I mean, I think, you know, we've learned over the years, the difference between what works and what doesn't work. And this whole thing started in the 70s with the Heritage Foundation, the creation of the Heritage Foundation. Once the civil rights movement, you know, did its thing, and the women's liberation did its thing, these white boys got extremely scared, and they were like, enough's enough. And the Heritage Foundation started. Then they handed Reagan the first mandate for leadership, and you know, it's been a 40-year path that we're at the pinnacle, but it's going to fall. We will not let our democracy die. And you know, us progressive, liberal Democrats, whatever you want to call us, so many of them, like myself, I don't see color in people, I see people. But I never forget, there is a difference in who we are and what we are. I will never, ever, regardless of what I've experienced in my life, will never be able to understand what my fellow black brothers and sisters have gone through in their lifetime. Never. And I'd be a fool to say I would. But that doesn't mean that I can't stand next to them and stand with them and remove that barrier and erase that, you know. Never forget it, but I don't see it. So, you know, that's where we have to be. And I think that's where the country is heading right now. It's just that it shouldn't have got here to begin with. It should not have got here.
But they don't like competition. They swear they like meritocracy, but they don't like competition, because once you start increasing the pool of people who can participate, oh, now you really got to compete. Right. And so they don't really like the competition. They really don't. And it's okay. No, because we ain't going nowhere. That's the thing. We're not going anywhere, and you're going to have to deal with us. And the best thing now, there are some, and y'all know me, I don't diss Democrats, because there's enough dissing of Democrats on the other side. But I also need some of my Democratic voters who are very well off to also think about, you know, when they're casting some of these votes for these pharmaceutical companies and things like that, they got to remember, like, yeah, you're wealthy, bro. But you still got to look at the rest of us in this tent. So there's some elitism going on all over the place, but you know, it's more them there than all of us. And that's just where I'm going with that.
Well, and I don't want to diss Democrats either. Okay. But I'm going to call you out if you're not, you know, I think that's our responsibility too. I you know, there's a difference between who you are and what you're saying you are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I don't care if you call yourself a Democrat, but you're not acting like one. I want to know why. Yeah. I want to know.
I don't like calling people out. I don't like calling people out.
I know.
I like holding them accountable. And I think that is very different, because I can I can hold you accountable by having a one-on-one conversation. I did that with Representative Delaney last year. He voted for an anti-trans bill, and we in Stonewall, like, we caught hell. But I didn't go out on social media and blast the House Rep, because honestly, he has been with us more than he's been against us. Right. I don't forget the history. But what I did was I called him to the side. I said, help me understand your vote. And when he explained it to me, I don't necessarily agree with what he did, but at least he was able to explain it to me. And see, to me, that's holding people accountable. All these folks out here that want to put people on blast. Y'all, that's y'all's thing. That's not my thing.
Right.
Because you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And I know y'all don't like flies, but you know what the old saying is. I'm gonna make a mess, but
flies are also attracted to shit too. So
well, god dang, there you go. But I mean, so you attract more. You do better when you bring honey. And I'm not saying that I'm not one to bring vitriol. I want to bring love, because if I can bring more people in if I'm loving on you than hating on you. And if you in that space where you just want to, you go ahead. All right, I got another story I want to talk about. And this one breaks my heart because, the land of immigrants, this is what we doing now. The Indy Star reports 83 people slowly shuffled along the walls of the Indiana War Memorial and Museum, waiting for an assistant of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services to confirm their eligibility to take the oath of allegiance to the United States. Many could be seen double checking their documents before they made it to the sign-in desk to ensure they wouldn't run into any problems ahead of the December 18th ceremony. One by one, their documents were checked and they moved along, except for 4 men who were pulled aside and informed that their naturalization oaths had been rescheduled for a different date. About 15 people had their ceremonies rescheduled, according to the Indiana Marion County Clerk's Office. It is out of control, said a United States Citizenship and Immigration official who refused to provide her name. This comes almost a week after federal officials canceled the naturalization ceremonies for 38 people, which was hosted at the Indianapolis Union Station on December 9th. A federal directive released by U.S. Immigration and Customs Services noted that people from high-risk countries would need to have their cases reviewed to fully assess all national security and public safety threats. The countries initially added to the ban list include Afghanistan, Burundi, Chad, Cuba, Equatorial Guinea, I don't even know this country, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Laos, Libya, Myanmar, the Republic of Congo, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela and Yemen. We are a country that believes that all human beings are created equal and that our rights are endowed by God, and not a king, not a government, and not the president. A letter by U.S. Senator Jim Banks read during the naturalization ceremony December 18th stated, "In America, it doesn't matter where you come from or what your family name may be. In America, given the opportunity and given the chance, you can succeed." I want to play real quick for y'all something that Kate Sweeney Bell said, the Marion County Recorder, because I think before we discuss it, just so you can hear what this is all about. I know a lot of people are like, why are you letting people in? First of all, we're a nation of immigrants. We need to let people in. But this is what Kate Sweeney Bell said.
So the individuals who are here today to become citizens have green cards, which allows them to be here legally in this country, to work, they pay taxes, they follow the rules, they follow the laws, and they have requirements that they have to meet in order to become citizens, including they have to know about our history. They have to be vetted by multiple, I don't even know all of the federal agencies, to make sure that they are not someone who is planning to do harm to our country. And they've passed all of the tests. They have paid all of the fees. They have been vetted to as far as vetting can go, and they're here to celebrate today. There are right now 85 people who are inside the auditorium here at the War Memorial who are going to renounce the citizenship of their nation and pledge allegiance to these United States, and it's a very exciting time for them, but not all of them. We have seen some people here today who were turned away, and that is an experience, that is something that happened last week as well, because they are on a federal list of countries that are in some sort of unfavored nation status.
You know.
All right. So that's.
You know what? to me, this is probably the most disheartening aspect of this moment that we find ourselves in. People, we already know the immigration process takes years and a lot of money because you got to get lawyers, all of that. And to show up at your naturalization ceremony, and because you hail from a country racist, then you can't get your naturalization. Bruh, man, this actually breaks my heart. And what are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. It's just to just, be sitting here listening to you talking and hear that clip, and I mean, it's just, I mean, what the hell are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, I guarantee you, Dana, if you go out and pick 15 white dudes off the street that have MAGA hats on, and you bring them in there and set them down and have them take that immigration test on American history, and they'd fail it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd
Of
fail
course
it.
they would. Of course
I
they
mean,
would.
While this is all going on, we don't have a problem bringing in whites from South Africa who are fleeing a country because they don't like how things are going, not because they are being prosecuted or persecuted or attacked. They just don't like it because there's a black guy in charge now and he's trying to change things. So they're fleeing their country.
Mm-hmm.
Those people we're going to bring over in a jet. We're going to give them instant asylum. We're going to help them out. But if you come from Chad, screw you. It's the same thing, Dana. It's white supremacy. It's racist. It's white nationalism. It's disgusting, is what it is.
It is.
There's none of us, very few of us, who are actually naturally Americans. Okay.
Hello.
We're immigrants. We're all immigrants. This is what has made our country great, the diversity in our country. To see to walk down the street and see just so many people that are, wait, we all want to look alike and be alike? Is that what they're trying to do?
That's what Carmel,
I don't get
it. They got all the McDonald's looking. They got the McDonald's looking like the Taco Bells, and Taco Bells looking like the KFCs. That's a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I just it's wrong. It's disgusting, and it needs to end.
I agree.
People have been villainized by the rhetoric of a guy who's just a true piece of shit, and I've tried to refrain from using bad language, but that's who he is.
But see, here's the thing, though, Kurt. That orange dude is one dude. It's all the enablers around him that help him execute. He's not. I'm gonna be real honest with you. He's a stooge.
Absolutely.
He's just a placeholder. They just needed somebody in place so they can execute. He probably don't even know half the stuff that's happening. He's falling asleep in the Oval Office. That fool has the audacity to call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, but you literally sleeping on the job. You literally sleeping on the job. But it's not him. Like you said, it's the Heritage Foundation. It's the authors of the Project 2025. It's some of these tech bros out here. It's all these people that enable this stuff to happen. And I'll be daggone. And Miller, that guy, did you see where he got ran out of his house because somebody put chalk on the sidewalk? Nothing says I'm a scared piece of nothing. Like somebody chalking up my sidewalk, and me and my wife have to leave. But
So, but yeah, you're right. The felon is the vessel. Okay, he's the white lion of the 1619. He's the one that they all got aboard to bring them to this point. He's been a useful idiot to them. And they just want him to last as long as they need him to last to get the things done that they want done. And I think this is why we're seeing the panic within the party right now, because there's something going on with him in his health. I think he's at his last days. I truly believe that. And I think they're freaking out about it because let me tell you, when he's gone, JD ain't going to be carrying the torch because JD is not the felon. He's a different dude altogether.
Well, he has a brown wife and brown children.
Yeah.
So he got some issues.
Oh, absolutely. Was raised on welfare, has changed his name 4 different times. I mean, the guy's a joke. But once this dude's gone, you're going to see some fracturing that's going to be far worse than what it is now. And we're seeing it now, right now. But what's happening to people, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
We keep, and this is where, it's a tough thing and where I try to not go down, but, January 22nd of 2021, there should have been an arrest warrant put out and he should have been arrested and thrown in jail.
Yeah.
Okay. We wouldn't be here. But we didn't do that. And I know we shouldn't look back on what if, but that's the God's honest truth. But we are here. So now we've got to do what we've got to do in order to get us back to where we at least have some normalcy and decency. It's going to take decades to undo what he's done.
Well, and it's, I don't know if we can go back. That's the thing. I don't think going back is what we need to be doing. I think because there are a lot of things that are going back that we did wrong. Like, for example, Barack Obama, and I love me some BO, right? Barack Obama, he was the best president of my lifetime. Yeah. He should have codified Roe v. Wade. He had a chance to do it. Yeah. And he didn't do it. So I don't want to go back. I want to go forward because we know what we did wrong. Just like they did. Like after they lost the election in 2020, and then they got reelected, they didn't go back to doing what they did in 2016. They went full steam ahead. They had a plan, and they went full steam ahead. Ain't nobody stopping them. And it's scary. It was almost like whiplash. Like, they was making us all paralyzed for a minute because it was like just so much stuff going on. So I want to go forward. I don't want to go back. And we gotta.
And I guess what I was saying there is just going back to get away from this shit, and
No, we gotta go forward.
Then we can. But yeah, you're right. It's moving forward is what we have to do, and if that means running over these people and getting them out of the way, that's what we've got to do.
That's what we got to do.
And it's happening. I feel it in my soul. I see what's happening around the country with these elections, and just talking to people, and it's happening. There's a change that's going to come, and I think we're on the cusp of it right now.
I believe so too.
We just got to keep on keeping on. So.
And we got to keep giving people the information. I had one more story, but we're already at an hour.
I know that. I'm sorry.
This just means we got to come back. We got to come back and do this again because obviously you and I know how to chop it up. It was a funny story, but I got to save some time. So tell the people where they can find you so they can listen to your podcast and find out, because again, you're coming from a different perspective than I am. And let's get you out there. Let's blow you up.
I appreciate that. Well, like I said, on social media, I'm Hoosier Blue63. My main platforms are Facebook, Instagram, Substack, Threads. Those are my main channels. My podcast I have on Spotify and on YouTube. Like I said, it's fairly new, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to build my audience. I also I also do an audio version of it that I put out on Podbean and on iHeart and some other channels like that. I've been getting into my Substack a lot lately. I just did a stack on the lynchings that took place in Marion, Indiana in 1930, which, was something close to home that, it was hard going through, but I enjoyed it. So, but if you just look for me on Hoosier Blue'63, you'll find me. Every Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, I'm on WCPT, 820 AM talk radio with Richard Chu for a half hour.
Love it.
That's a great platform that, Richard's given me the opportunity to, be part of his show. I think you need to come on there and
Hey,
do
I just send
do
me
an
an
interview
invite.
with him sometime. So I'm gonna throw your name his way. So to get you on WCPT.
I would
So,
love that.
but I appreciate this. I knew this is what was going to happen. I knew that you and I would be able to sit here and just, like I said earlier, I know I could sit down with you and have a cup of coffee or something and just talk for hours. And we just proved it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
were going to end on a funny note, and we just didn't get a chance to get to it. But I wanted to make sure that people knew how to find you, because
yeah, I appreciate that.
When you look at the media landscape here in Indiana, the regular folk are the regular mainstream medias, and I hate using that term, but the regular media is being swallowed up into monopolies, right? So Sinclair, Nexstar, all these people are gobbling up these stations, and so there's not going to be a diversity of thought pretty soon, right? You can be able to turn the channel, hear the same thing, and we have to make sure in Indiana, where over 40% of us vote democratically every year, and if we get the turnout up, it will be higher, that our issues, our voice, our concerns, the things that matter to us, the things that get us riled up, we're talking about it. And if we have to do it in independent media, then that's what we're going to do. I built my studio in my condo. I had to learn how to do everything. A little bit of advice: always check your sound. I did a whole show with no sound. Oh my God, I was sick. It was a great show too. But
always are. Yeah.
Welcome to the movement with your voice. Welcome.
Hey,
and
thank you.
Guys,
Thank you for inviting an old hippie from rural Indiana onto your platform, man. I appreciate it.
Gotta love a hippie. I just want to know where the rest of them went to. I want to know where they go. Where the rest of them hippie boomers go? Because there was a lot of y'all at Woodstock.
They're still around here. They're a little bit older than me, but my brother-in-law, who's 72, he's still got hair down to below his shoulders. So we're still around. You just don't see us walking around Indy that much.
Well, yeah, I understand. Kurt, thank you so much for gracing me
man,
tonight.
I appreciate you having me, Dana.
We're going to do this again, because there's always going to be something. When the session comes up, I'll start, getting candidates on soon, but we'll do this again. We'll do like a wrap up. I'll bring you on we'll do I see it with Mark Gavard, Mary Noon, and my guy Miguel Hampton. Oh my God, that would be so dope. Okay, see how I get excited.
There you go.
And
I appreciate
all these voices doing this work, and I love it. All right.
Well, thank you
so
for
much.
bringing me into your world. I appreciate that.
Man, let's do it. Let's get busy. All right.
Sounds great.
Have a great one, buddy.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Love you.
Oh man, see, there's more of us out there, y'all. There's a lot more of us out there. Every corner of the world, different times of day, different platforms. I know you can listen to, all the national stuff. I am a big native land pod person myself, so I get it. But pay attention to some of our local folks, right? There's enough of us out here sharing this information. But more importantly, Next Gen N. I will hype that up. I'm going to advertise that so that you guys can follow another Black Pearl Studios production. I'm excited about the expansion of what the studio is going to do. And I'm excited about bringing more people in who want to talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. So everybody, I know on Fox News, they said, y'all, because of the economy, don't buy as much as you had planned on buying, because it's going so great. But the holiday season, there are a lot of folks who are missing family members. They're losing family members. The financial situation has found them in a desperate space. What I want to ask each and every one of you as you go through the next couple weeks in this holiday season is think about the people who are most important to you and give them a little bit of your time, right? Think about who's most important, be it your blood family, your chosen family. It really doesn't matter. If it's your work family, it's your volunteer family, whatever. Give people a little bit of your time, because you never know what someone is going through during this holiday season that we tend to amp up and make it a huge emotional thing. And some people take it personally and internalize it and believe that they're supposed to have this vision of what the holiday season is supposed to be about. So from me, Indiana's on, to you all, I'm just going to ask you to give a little bit of your time to somebody that you care about, and be safe, stay warm, don't get in no troubles out here. Well, unless it's good trouble. And then I will be back at the beginning of the year with a whole slate of shows now that I've solved all of my technical difficulties. I'm excited about what 2026 is going to bring, because we are going to show up and show out. If you are looking for ways to volunteer, I want you to sign up for IDAC, because I got some work for y'all. I need help with some things. So Indiana's own Dana Black, thank you so much for tuning in to Turn Left. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions. Executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by www.bensound.com.